Oh man. Well, the one thing that we can do is we can talk about what we wish to see in League's Cup. Look at that transition. Yeah. Yeah, we're professional. We have almost 1,000 followers. Yeah, we're a big deal. I want to get your thoughts after seeing League's Cup all the way through phase one on on the format in general of the tournament. We did a little surmising in the lead up to it, but you can only do so much predicting and thought before you actually see it in action. So your thoughts on the tournament as a whole so far?
I mean, it is brutal. It is cutthroat. Like you have to be perfect or very much near perfect if you want to go through. Unless you're a Liga MX side, because then you can go through without being nearly perfect because everybody on the Liga MX side seemed to. Never mind. Let's not go down that road. Um,
Get them comments, get them.
but yeah, I mean, I look at a team like Portland, for example, where two wins and a PK loss, a plus five goal difference, and not looking at the next round. That's 7 points with two wins, no regular time losses, and you don't even move on to the next round, like the knockouts. Like that would be unthinkable with like last year's format. I know last year's is a little different because you played two matches to get out of your group, but still, like if you assume a group of four in a similar format to how it was last year, there's no way Portland doesn't get out with two wins and a draw and 7 points. But now they're done. Which honestly, like, if you're a fan of any team that's like maybe I don't know 8 through 18 in the standings, you're probably like, all right, we're pretty much out of it by game two. Like, let's just rotate, see some new guys, rest some guys. Like, let's not kill ourselves over the 0.1% chance that we can go on to the next round. So they kind of like turned it into a way for it to not be this like grueling second additional tournament that they added to the schedule, which I think is probably a good thing. It's like a little bit of a happy medium to like not overwhelm the players by keeping Leagues Cup around, but also not putting like too much emphasis on Leagues Cup that you have to start like making cuts again to US Open Cup.
Yeah, I think it's a good way to sum it up. And there are a couple things I'd like to see changed, of course, but what I'll say is that I think my pre-tournament thoughts were confirmed. I think this is almost perfect. I like the Liga MX versus MLS forced setup. I think that
Mhm.
was a really nice change from having to see Red Bull versus Revolution for the fifth time this year. Like, didn't need it, right? Or even worse, right? Let's talk about Red Bull Philly, who we're gonna play in regular season next Saturday. And next Wednesday, we're going to play them in Open Cup. If I had to see them in Leagues Cup and see them 3 times in 2 weeks, I would have just I would just turn the TV off. Like, nice to not have to deal with that sort of things. I also like that now that we have a bunch of teams that aren't playing. I like that we're able to turn on the TV. I've got MLS 360 on the side when we're recording here and see them play. I don't need to wait another 3 weeks that my team has been eliminated where I don't get to watch them play. Really, really like that design. I just wish that instead of doing top four, they did top eight. You still get that push for, oh, we have a chance to move on. You still have it relatively selective. It's not that you're letting all 18 teams in and you're doing a 18 versus 18, and then we're going to take that and we're going to apply it to a knockout tournament. We're going to do 47 rounds. You just need one more round, right? You do 8v8, you do the top four. If you make it 8v8, you just make it round of 16. You take one more game week and you put it into practice. I think that would have been great because even like I said, you have two teams. You made the point. You got two teams right now from MLS who are sitting on 7 points with two wins and a PK loss, a +5 and a +3 goal differential, and are not in the next round. That's absurd, right? If you were to extend that to the top eight, you've got teams like Red Bull, Minnesota, Cincinnati, who all would have been playing for something more realistic, right? Red Bull on the last day had something to play for if they won a game by 4 goals. Let's be real. Red Bull haven't scored 4 goals in what, 73 years, give or take. Obviously that's but that wasn't realistic, right? So you take away the opportunity for them to go for it by limiting the realistic opportunity to move forward. And I think that if you did that, not only do you allow more teams in and you get yourself one more game week, but more teams are playing for something, right? When we got into the last game week, or the last game day of the last game week, So match day 9, if you will. Every team except for 5 were eliminated, and a bunch of those teams hadn't even played their last game yet. So I was like, okay, little bit lame there, right? However, I really enjoyed the first phase. I thought they got it almost right.
Well, I would say based on what you're saying, the first phase they did get right. It's the second phase that they needed to
Yeah,
work on,
perfect.
which I agree with you. I think as well. I think limiting it to four, like you said, it just makes it kind of pointless very early on for a whole lot of teams. Like
Yeah.
inevitably, even if you expand it to eight, there are still going to be teams that probably are eliminated before they even play their third game. But you're going to significantly cut down the number of teams that are eliminated that early. Like I think this year there had to have been at least a, a bunch, like maybe five or six that like we're going into their last game not even with literally nothing to play for.
Hmm.
Versus if you expand it to eight, maybe it cuts down to like one or two.
Yeah. The one thing that I will say, and I don't think this is a subject of the tournament itself, but a kind of a remnant of the soccer schedule this year specifically, is I did say that I did feel like I found myself tuning in less because of how, and you mentioned this in one of our other episodes, this, I felt fatigued watching more and more and more soccer. And ever since you made that comment, I've noticed it. Like usually when I was, 2 years ago when it started, like I came back, I turned the game on, I just let it roll. Right. There was a recap thing. I would just let it go and watch it. But I would come back from work, go coach, come back, and I'd still have time to watch every single game. And I was like, I just couldn't get myself to turn it on sometimes. I'm like, I just need a break from soccer. I just need to not do it right now. And I don't know if that's necessarily a knock on the tournament itself or if it's because of the way the soccer schedule is, but it definitely felt like I was too tired to turn this tournament on. That's for sure.
I mean, I think it's a knock on the sport itself at this point than it is just this particular tournament because it's just across the board. It's like every league, every organization is just looking for more ways that they can make money. And generally, the more ways you make money is more games, more tournaments, more competitions. And it's just, it's getting to a point where it's like out of control. Like, I mentioned this when I brought up the fatigue in the first place, but I think there was maybe a month period, if that, probably even less, where I didn't see Chelsea play, and we're already back to preseason. Like we were watching them play in Club World Cup through July, so it may not have even been a full month, and you're already back to them playing preseason. They're going to go straight into a full season again. It's like literally nonstop. It was like you got like a 2 week break, and then that was it. Like I think, and I think it's like a there's so many people who are so passionate about the sport that if you talk about this thing, I think it comes off as like a hot take. But I really do stand by that I think it's a real thing. Like it's just it's like a little bit too much, and you just need a break after a little bit.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, we didn't need to take it to Eurosnob level. You could have gone, oh, Atlanta United, even though you haven't watched Atlanta United in what,
Well,
3 months,
they did
bro?
have a break. They had a break for a few months, so
Yeah,
it
they
wouldn't have been a
haven't
good
played all
example.
year. That's you couldn't convince me they've played all year. They've been that
I'm
bad.
still waiting to watch Latte Love.